x is on the left hand side. It has a negative 4 over 3 attached to it, and then there is a positive 9 attached to it. So in order to remove the positive 9, remember you want to get rid of everything else until you're left with just x. So to get rid of the positive 9, we do so by subtracting 9 on both sides. If you subtract 9 on the left hand side, you're left with negative 4 over 3x. On the right hand side, negative 7 minus 9. Okay, I did not say positive 9 bring over, then positive become negative, so you write negative 9. No, I didn't say that. So it works. But you need to know what's happening. So what is actually happening is that we are subtracting 9 on both sides. So the next step, we have a coefficient of x that is negative 4 over 3. Coefficient in front of the x, all you need to do to remove it is just to divide it. Divide it away. So I gave some examples the last lesson. For example, 3x equals to 6. To find out what x is, you just take 6 divided by 3. For example, if I have, instead of 3x equals to 6, if I have, for example, negative 2.5x equal to 6, just take 6 divided by negative 2.5. That's all that there is. Regardless of the coefficient, just divide it away. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We are going to divide away this negative 4 over 3. So x is simply now negative 16 divided by negative 4 over 3. Okay? Now, at this point in time, you can use your calculator, but I want you all to also practice. How do we divide by a fraction? Now, this is rewritten as negative 16 divided by negative 4 over 3, right? We're dividing by negative 4 over 3. Here, we can change, we keep the first term, which is your negative 16. You change the division to multiplication, and you flip the fraction times negative 3 over 4. The sign does not change over here. So we get negative times negative is positive. 16 and 4, we can divide both of them by 4, leaving us with 4 times 3, which is positive 12. Okay, so this is one way to look at it. What we did was to divide both sides by negative 4 over 3. Divide by negative 4 over 3. But because the division by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the flip of that fraction, there is a name for that flip. It is called reciprocal. Later on you will learn, you will hear more about it. Reciprocal is the flip of a fraction. Because the division of a fraction is just a multiplication of that reciprocal. We could have done this right from the start. Instead of dividing by negative 4 over 3, we write multiply by negative 3 over 4. On the other side, multiply by negative 3 over 4. They are the same thing. Okay? Now, I will illustrate on the right hand side. Here we see that we initially have negative 4 over 3x equals to negative 16. Our objective is just to have x on the left hand side. How do I remove the negative 4 over 3? Yeah, we can divide by negative 4 over 3. The other method I'm going to show you is the way we think about it. How do we remove, for example, a negative sign? How to remove negative sign? Two ways. Multiply by negative 1, divide by negative 1. Okay, let's do that first. So 4 over 3x equals to 16. That's the first step. How to remove a 4? How do I remove a 4 multiplied by something? You divide the 4 away. So now we have 1 over 3x equals to 16 over 4. We divide by 4 on both sides. And finally, how do you get rid of the 1/3? You multiply by 3. So x equals to 16 over 4 times 3. Here we divide by 4. Divide by 4. Okay, so there are many ways of doing it. which will still result in the same answer of positive 12. Okay, so I'll move on to the next one, which is still your homework. In order to make x the subject, now on the left hand side, I have 1 over x minus 4 equals to 0. I only want the x term. Okay, let's plus 4 on both sides. So 1 over x equals to 4. So if 1 over x equals to 4, I already gave the answer. 1 over x equals to 4. Then what must x be? Okay, we can multiply by x to both sides to remove the fraction. Yeah, we can do that. Can you, without me writing, can you imagine what happens if you multiply by x to both sides?
Yeah.
What is on the left hand side? If you multiply by x on the left hand side, what is left? Just 1 only. Right? Just 1. Left hand side is 1. What about the right hand side when you multiply by x? 4x. So 4x equals to 1. What must 1x be? 1 over 4 lah. Okay? So the other way you can look at it was what I wrote on the board. The 4 becomes 4 over 1, which is a fraction. Then you draw arrows like this to indicate that, oh, 4 times x equals to 1 times 1. Okay, this is the other way of doing it. 4 times x equals to 1 times 1, which means that 4x equals to 1. Exactly what Joven said lah. Okay, so x equals to 1 over 4. We divide by 4 on both sides. Okay, next, part H. If I plus 9 on both sides, we get 18 minus 6 over x equals to 9. Doesn't help. Instead, what should we be doing? So plus 9 doesn't help, huh? Okay, so minus 9. Minus 9 on both sides. Minus 9 on both sides, we get negative 6 over x equals to negative 9. Okay? Is this what you want? Kind of, huh? At least you got an x on one side already. Now I have a question for you all. This negative sign, right? Does it belong to the 6 only, or the x only, or it doesn't matter, or it belongs to both the 6 and the x? What do you all think? Let's try and figure this out. If I write negative 3 over 4, is this equal to negative 3 over 4? Or 3 over negative 4? Or negative 3 over negative 4? What do you all think? Which one is correct? Are they the same? Can we use our calculator to find out? Key the first fraction into your calculator. Negative 3 in your numerator, 4 in the denominator. What do you have? What does your calculator say when you key this in? Same, right? Negative 3 over 4. Oh, this is correct. Do you see that? Okay, now we try the second fraction. Second fraction, key in your calculator. 3 over denominator, negative 4. What do you get? Same, right? Negative 3 over 4. Turns out, you can write it either in this manner or this manner. What about the last one? Cannot, right? This is 3 over 4. So this is wrong. In other words, it is your choice whether you want to write it this way or this way. Your choice. Okay, back to this. Why did I mention that? Well, this negative sign either belongs to the 6 or it belongs to the x. Alternatively, let's just remove it by multiplying by negative 1. Multiply by negative 1. So we end up with 6 over x equals to 9. Right? Actually, is it possible to go from the question straight away to this step?
Yes, plus 9.
No, you already said plus 9 just now, it was wrong. So how do we go from the original? Yes? Yeah, you plus 6 over x to both sides, right? You can just plus 6 over x to both sides. So on the left hand side, you're just left with 9. On the other side, you have 6 over x. Okay, then you just switch them around. It's the same thing. Alright? So from here on, how do we proceed? again, you can times x to both sides, and you get 9x equals to 6, and you solve for x. Alternatively, just put it as over 1. Draw the arrows to indicate 9 times x equals to 6 times 1. And it is the same thing. 9x equals to 6 times 1. X must be 2 over 3. The last question in this portion. So we subtract 1 on both sides. Negative 1 over 7x is negative 9. Times negative 7. Okay, so x equals to 63. Finish. Whenever you finish your solving of algebra, if you have time, substitute this back into the equation. Substitute it back in the original. If you type in 1 minus 1 over 7 times 63, you get negative 8, then your answer is correct. Confirm correct. But if you get, for example, negative 9, wrong already lah. Or positive 8, then it's wrong already. Then you have to check your work. Okay, so you're supposed to watch this video. Did the video cover part A? No. Okay, so then what did the video cover? Did it cover part B? Part B? E. It covered part E. D. You only covered part D. Wow, only one question. Okay, so let's start with part A. Solve the equation. So solving the equation means I want to find the value of x, such that when I put it on the left hand side, and whenever the x appears, the left hand side will be equal to the right hand side. So what is that particular value of x? We have to first expand. 7 times x. We get 7x. 7 times 2 plus 14. On the right hand side, RHS, 2 times 2x, 4x. 2 times positive 9 plus 18. That's our first step. Just the expansion only. And now we see, oh no, the x appears on two sides. There's a 7x on one side, there's a 4x on the other side. How? We want to make x the subject. I just want to do all my working, and at the final step, x equals to something. X equals to a value. That's what I want to see. But right now I have a problem. The x appears on the left hand side, it appears on the right hand side at the same time. I need to put them together. I'm talking about the x first. So what should I do to make the x appear only once? Because it appeared left hand side one time, right hand side one time, right? Okay, I heard the answer already, minus 4x. If I subtract 4x on both sides, do you see that the 4x on the right hand side disappears? Because I say I want to minus 4x over here. So the 4x will disappear, right? No more. But can I just do that to the right hand side? Will they stay equal? No, they won't stay equal. I have to do the same thing on the other side. Minus 4x. Which is what some of your tutors might be saying. You see the positive 4x, you bring to the other side, then you change the sign, become minus 4x. Know what they actually are trying to tell you, okay? It is not about bring here, bring there, change the sign. So with minus 4x on both sides, we are left with 3x plus 14 equals to 18, because we have removed the 4x. So now, I've got 14 on one side and 18 on the other side. I think this is pretty straightforward already. We will now subtract 14 on both sides, leaving us with 3x equals to 4. I've just subtracted 14 on both sides, and final answer, dividing by 3 on both sides. Okay, you can draw the arrows by yourself, minus 14. If you don't require them, then don't need to. And final step is division by 3. Whatever you do on one side, you do to the other side so that they stay equal. The equal sign, all of them. At every single instance, the left hand side will be equal to the right hand side. Okay? Any questions? Then part B. Please try it by yourself now. X plus 12, that is 28x minus 20. Okay, so you have options over here again. we want to group all the x terms together. We want to put them together. Currently, it is found on the left hand side, we've got 6x, on the right hand side, we've got 28x. So, do you want to put the x only on the left hand side, or is it okay for the x to be on the right hand side? Your choice. What do you prefer? Left hand side? If we keep the x on the left hand side, that means I need to remove this 28x. How do I remove the 28x? What must I do to remove 28x? Minus 28x lah. Okay, so minus 28x. Leaving me with 6 minus 28, that is negative 22x. Then plus 12 equals to negative 20. Now at this point I need to remove the 12. Minus 12 on both sides, so negative 22x equals to minus 32. And therefore x equals to 32 over 22, which is 16 over 11. Okay, who got 16 over 11 by yourself? The rest, please try. Next, part C. X minus 19, 2 times of 6, x minus 3. So expand. X minus 19, 12x minus 6. Again, you probably would want the x to be on the left hand side, because at the end of the day, we have x, we are supposed to have x equals to something. But as you can see in the previous example, right? If we were to subtract 28x on both sides, thereby keeping all the x terms on the left hand side, we are going to end up with a negative x term, which we sometimes would rather not have. So the alternative is that we subtract x on both sides. Let's see what happens. If I subtract x on both sides, then the left hand side will not have the x anymore, right? The x will now be on the right hand side. And then the right hand side still has a negative 6. I can get rid of that at the same time by adding 6. So I also add 6 at the same time. So x minus x, 0. Negative 19 plus 6, negative 13. And then on the right hand side, 12x minus x. That is 11x. Negative 6 plus 6, 0. So now I simply have 11x is negative 13. So in my mind, I do the switch. 11x is equal to negative 13. Okay, this is the next step in my mind only. I don't need to write down. 11x equals to negative 13. Obviously, left hand side go right hand side, right? So I do the quick switch in my mind. Then x has to be negative 13 divided by 11. Negative 13 over 11. You see that? I'm starting to skip steps already. But in order to be able to skip steps, you have to know what you are doing if you were to break them down. And don't make any careless mistakes. Okay, now, part E, try it yourself. You can try skipping some steps and see whether you can handle it. Minus 18 minus 20r plus 8 equals to 0. Group all your like terms together, we have negative 32r. Negative 18 plus 8 is? Negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. Yeah, plus 8. Negative 4 times negative 2 is plus 8. So we have negative 10 on the left hand side. Negative 10 on the left hand side. I don't want a number on the left hand side. I want it on the other side. So to get rid of the negative 10, I will plus 10 in my mind. So this is equal to positive 10. Originally, it is negative 32r minus 10 equal to 0. Okay, minus 10 equal to 0. So to remove the minus 10, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. So I've just skipped a step over here. leaving me with r equals to 10 over 32 with a negative sign, which is negative 5 over 16.
I did it wrong side.
Got it correct? Huh? So if you made a mistake, right, if you didn't get the same answer, you have to find your mistake. Here we have 2 over x minus 3 equals to 4. 2 equals 4 times x minus 3. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Multiplying by x minus 3 on both sides. Alternatively, over 1. Draw the arrows in pencil. That is an indication for you. See this arrow? You see me draw this arrow before, right? It is always drawn over the equal sign. When I have a fraction equal to a fraction, I draw that pair of arrows over the equal sign. I don't draw it anywhere else. To indicate that x minus 3 times 4, x minus 3 times 4 equals to 2 times of 1. Of course, 2 times of 1, you don't have to write that. Just write 2 is fine. So here, you have a choice. You can choose to expand x times 4, negative 3 times 4. Sure, you can go ahead and do that. Alternatively, let's divide by 4 on both sides. Right, we can divide by 4 on both sides. We can. So I'll go ahead and do that. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X minus 3, that is 2 over 4, which is half. X minus 3 is equal to half. So x must be 3 plus half, which is 7 over 2.